welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today we're doing a vintage cube draft. And the reason is, if you look on the right, it's pretty small. My avatar is Ponder. It's usually Bosh, and I'll change it back after this draft, but Ponder is currently available at the time of this recording. It'll be long gone by the time you watch this, sorry. I don't have a pipeline to get that information to you fast enough. As part of a charity thing against type 1 diabetes run by Pro Tour historian Brian David Marshall, there are some promotional avatars available if you cube draft during this October 2025 season. And with a Ponder avatar, I just had to do one of these things to score that. Grim Monolith's mana, Phyrexian Metamorph is generically good, Brazen Bar is generically good. Lutri will go in any deck. This is just like a 41st card comped in your hand. I'm actually going to pivot onto Lutri in the last second here. Normally, fast mana is what you want in the cube. Obviously, there's no piece of power in my pack. I've never opened power in my life. Oh, but I do get past it sometimes. That's all the story you need. I don't open any power, but the person in my right opens two. And I'm obviously taking Mox Ruby. What do I hope to get back out of this pack? And Coveted Jewel sometimes wheels. That is not a high pick, and it's only for certain types of decks. But whoever gets that Grim Monolith might slam the Jewel. They're one right after the other at any point in this draft. Bonecrusher Giant, I used to really like, but it's kind of fallen off. I might get that back. I don't really expect dual lands or premium removal or reanimate to come back around. Would be sick to get Hallowed Fountain or Fairy Mastermind. I'd be happy with either of those, but obviously Mox Ruby goes in. We've got Spell Pierce, cheap interaction. Always happy to see that. Rockrin Triome. Birds of Paradise could start setting up some kind of 3 or 4 color soup situation. Forensic Gadgeteer has combos in the cube with Assault Monolith specifically. Consult the Star Charts is a powerful thing to double with Lutri in the late game. Worldspine Worm is my favorite thing to flash in, or to oath into, or to show and tell into. I don't think I can take Worldspine Worm on spec over something like Spell Pierce that I'm very likely to just put in any deck at this point. Okay, Kitsa, Galv Blast, Shorakai, Thought Scour, all reasonable considerations here. Kitsa is a looter. It's a low drop. It hits kind of hard, and it also flushes out my copy my instants and sorceries theme if I somehow get a prowess situation going. Kitsa can also backdoor support Reanimator or Breach or Storm or any of those things. There was a Yogg-Wheel in that pack earlier. I don't expect it to wheel, but not every cube pod respects Yogg-Wheel or knows how to use it. And I don't have to add a color. Like, Galv Blast is red, Shorakai is white. Currently, I'm mono blue. In Mox Ruby, can pay colorless mana just fine. Taking Mox Ruby doesn't mean you're a red deck, is the point there. Right, a fetch land is pretty nice to see. Uh-oh. A Spider-Man who's not Spider-Man. I think, is this Miles Morales? I don't know who this is in real life. But I'm not considering it. That's a lot of colors that aren't the colors I am. Thundertrap Trainer is always fine. Galvanic Discharge is solid removal, but I'm just going to take this fetch land. This now supports red and green or various duels I could open. Ooh, Snapcaster and Displacer Kitten are both cards I really like. I'm going to take Kitten because Kitten is an archetype. Like, this defines the entire way you can build your deck. Whereas Snapcaster Mage is just like another copy of a spell you've cast already, which is very powerful, obviously. But Displacer Kitten, this is kind of the difference between taking Natural Order or taking a Mana Dork. Like, one of them is defining the deck, one of them fleshes out the deck. I'm going to define my deck a little. And I'm not really counting on it, but if that Coveted Jewel comes back around, I now have something to do with it. Stormchaser's Talent, this is a nice one to hit with Displacer Kitten as well. I do really love Agatha's Soul Cauldron in cube, because it does so much, and it's just passive graveyard hate versus a bunch of the more powerful archetypes. Like, if I could pick my packs and cheat and have whatever archetype I wanted, I would be Reanimator in cube every time. I think I'm going to take the talent, though. That's something big to do with Kitten. Okay, Metamorphosis Fanatic. I mentioned Backdoor Reanimator with this Kitsa earlier. We do have a red source and the ability to touch red or green. I'm not in black at all yet, but that's not disqualifying. It's really early in the draft. And all these green cards are double green. I think Fanatic is the most powerful thing here. So I'm just going to take it and see if we get there. Brazen Borrower on the wheel. That is generic interaction in mono blue. Collective Brutality is the card if I was trying to push Reanimator, but I'm not trying to push it yet. I just took that card out of a weak pack. All right. Life Death came back around. So did Treasure Cruise. These are both good with looters, but getting 2 Reanimates late in pack 1 might be telling me a story that I should be listening to. All right, we've got 2 Reanimates now. Damn. Deathrite Shaman is just as good off black as it is off green. And I am starting to develop some black here. Thought Scour feeds Reanimator. Grave Titan is worth reanimating. I think I'm going to take the Scour first. There's better monsters than Grave Titan. But cantrips are really high impact in 40 card decks. Especially with Displacer Kitten. If on 5 mana I can Kitten and hold up Scour so they can't kill it. Or I could start kittening Metamorphosis Fanatic. Oh, baby. Okay, so some version of Bayou, like an Overgrown Tomb or an actual Bayou, something that Wooded Foothills can fetch and make my deck good. I don't think I'm playing any of these cards. I'm certainly not adding red and white to my deck. I'll take White of the Reliquary. These are not colors I'm trying to fix into. I don't think I'm playing this Forgotten Cellar, but that is a Crucible of Worlds and a Yogg-Will. Don't look at this Mock Sapphire. That ruins the kayfabe that I never open power. I'm obviously taking Mock Sapphire. I would love to see this Grizzlebrand back. I don't expect it. That's one of the better monsters, and there's plenty of ways to enable it. I kind of do expect Concealing Curtains back. This is a card I like just fine. Xander's Lounge. This is all my colors, and Wooded Foothills can get it. That would actually be really good for my deck. Okay, so Cryptic, Marsh Flats, Preacher, Lounge, and Concealing Curtains, and Grizzlebrand, of course, are all cards I'd be happy to get back. Almost half this pack. If I could do the I'll take this back and not take any other cards this round, I would do it. Barragoyf is a unit. Minsk and Boo is a unit. I'm nowhere near red, though. And green is a weird splash. Chrome Mox, yet another Mox, and it's one that I can enable reliably. Duress is cheap interaction. There's a Wheel of Fortune here, but I'm not really doing anything with it. I'm going to take Chrome Mox, just 3 Mox in a deck. Pretty exciting. And the Mox and All Trigger Displacer Kitten. They both cast it faster, and if I have Kitten first, it starts blinking. I'd be happy to get back Barragoyf, Duress, or Tishana's Tidebinder here. Yeah, City of Traders, Volcanic Island. I'm not using that Volcanic Island, though. Foothills can get it. That's multiple routes to red. And it is just base blue, which is a color. Preordain, again, good with Kitten. There's another Reanimate here, but I have 2 Reanimates and no monsters right now. The Reanimates and the cantrips both wheeled in the last pack. Otawara is here too. I don't think I'm in business for Time Warp. All right, I'm going to take Preordain. Just another cheap instant or sorcery that Lutri or Kitsa can double. Subtlety. Oh, this is a nice one. This is Gobin/Fleam, aka Norman Osborn. Can't be blocked. When it hits, you connive. And then the back gives all your cards Mayhem, which means you can cast it if you've discarded it this turn. There's also Animate Dead in this pack. Fudge, that's annoying. I think this is better than Animate Dead for my deck. I'm more of like a blue tempo deck that has some Reanimate stuff in it than I am a dedicated Reanimator deck. And I also don't have a black source yet. I mean, unless that Xander's Lounge wheels to me, I'm not even sure if I'll be able to support this. Creeping Tar Pit with insane new art. Look at that. Wow. That looks so good. Dismember would, of course, make the deck. Toxic Deluge would be a powerful sideboard option. Relic of Sauron is a banger with Displacer Kitten. It also turns on black. Brainstorm's good. Oh, these are a lot of good cards. I think I'm going to take Toxic Deluge. That's the most dramatic effect here. And, I mean, I would love to get back Tar Pit, Brainstorm, or a Relic. though the pack's getting pretty thin here. I'm not going to hold my breath. Doomsday, can I do it? I don't even have a black source yet. Definitely can't do it. There is Gush. Savai Triome is a black source I can fetch with Wooded Foothills, but I don't really need white and red for anything. Stern Scolding is just solid. Cheap interaction. I was high on Spell Pierce, I'm high on Stern Scolding. Deep Cavern Bat, I love that guy. And Fiery Confluence, no respect. This card, if I was anywhere near red, I would screech off the exit and start charging down this road instead, but clearly that's available. Oh, sheesh, never mind. There is a Bayou in the pack. Almost missed it. This is a black source that Wooded Foothills can get. Sorry, Deep Cavern Bat. I was just saying as the pack opened, I needed a Bayou. There's actual Bayou. Sick. Okay, now black is completely online. I would have liked this Inquisition of Kozilek, but I'm not taking it over Bayou. The Grizzfather, he's returned. Okay, we have a real reanimate now. Duress got back to me too. Nice, 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 nice. I like where this is starting to go. The wheel in pack 2 is where you should start to understand if your bet's paid off and if your deck's going to work the way you want it to. Shallow Grave on the wheel. All my bets are working out. Might Form Harmonizer, not useful to me. All right, Shallow Grave going. Another big monster and another looter, or obviously just Entomb would be nice in pack 3. I don't think I'm playing any of these. Duelist of the Mind is technically a looter, though not a very good one. It is good with Grizzlebrand, though. So we both take 7, Comrade. I'm not playing any of these things. I guess I'll put Pyrokinesis in my sideboard. Canker Bloom. I can technically cast that. Could go in the sideboard. Baloth Prime also. And I have as many green sources right now as I have black sources. Nadu Winged Wisdom. I do have, like I said, as many green sources as I have black. I can cast Nadu as well as I could cast any of these black cards in my deck. Am I doing anything with Nadu is the problem. Not really. Consider is another good cantrip, but Woodfall Primus is another banger to reanimate, and Snuff Out is just great removal. Spectral Restitching, this is a new Spider-Man card that's not in Spider-Man. It's Snuff Out or Primus for me. I don't have a lot of removal. I am asking a lot of my life total with Life, Death, and Grizzlebrand. I'm going to take Primus. Indatha Triome is another Bayou. Gaia's Cradle, oh. Witherbloom Apprentice. Chain of Smog was in the pack I just passed. Malcolm's a looter. Harvester of Misery is something that puts itself in the graveyard and then you can reanimate it. I think I have to go Malcolm here. That if that Chain of Smog wheels to me, I guess the person next to me has seen Witherbloom Apprentice and they'll see Chain of Smog before I get it back. Yeah, I'm going to take Malcolm. I'm not going to skip on a good card for my deck on spec of adding a second combo on the splash. Thoughtseize and Underground Sea. I want both of those. Show and Tell. I'm not really in the market for Show and Tell. It's Thoughtseize or it's Underground Sea. Underground Sea is the perfect dual land for my deck, but Thoughtseize is the perfect interaction for my deck. I could also Thoughtseize myself to get a monster out of my hand. I'm going Thoughtseize here. That stings a little. Rewarded immediately with a Watery Grave. But there's also Vaultborn Tyrant. All right, I'm going to make sure my mana's good, though Mystery Rainforest is even better than Watery Grave, because that can get any of my Bayous or a basic island. Okay. Rewarded for taking the interaction first, because the mana showed up. Sheoldred, Vaultborn Tyrant, Watery Grave, Mystery Rainforest, these are all phenomenal cards. I kind of think Sheoldred is actually better than Misty Rainforest. That's another card that can just show up and completely change a game by itself. But I'm going to have trouble casting it if I don't have Misty Rainforest. There's also Strip Mine in this pack, and I do have that Crucible of Worlds in my sideboard. I don't think that's where I am, though. All right, I'm taking Misty Rainforest and hoping I get Tyrant or Sheoldred back. Actual Reanimate, heck yeah. Another Underground Sea. This one fetchable, but I can't take that over Reanimate. All right, Reanimate's in. Liliana of the Veil. I mentioned Oath of Druids earlier, but it showed up too late. Now I have a million little 2-drop looters that oathing into is unacceptable. Liliana's good, though. That is interaction. That is discard if I want to dump a monster. Recurring Nightmare. I do have little guys and big guys, which is what you want with Recurring Nightmare, but I think Liliana stands on her own a little better. Cult Epiphany and Dark Ritual. Wow. Occult Epiphany, excellent looting. That also impacts the board. Lightning Greaves to go with that Nadu that's going around. Someone's going to be happy. I really like Dark Ritual, but I think Occult Epiphany is my guy. I'm not considering him to Turok. That's just too hard to cast. Infernal Grasp, there is my generic removal that I passed Snuff out, hoping that I would get some generic removal, and I did. Oh, the Chain of Smog. I am going to spec on this. Snuff out still in the pack is really tempting, but yeah, we did it. Converted. Hell yeah. I have recognized that people don't really respect this combo, and they don't hate it. Like, sometimes people just hate Thassa's Oracle out of the pack because they can, but they don't really clock these two things together. Even though in this pack they were right next to each other and everybody saw both of them. Night's Whisper, Cecil, or some card I'm probably not going to play. I'll take Night's Whisper. My deck's not about beating down. Alright, I got some combos. My mana's pretty good. I am 1 Underground Sea away. Can I get that? Oh my goodness! If Watery Grave came this far around, am I going to get the Undercity Sewer as well? Alright, generic removal, generic threat, generic removal. I got enough threats. Recurring Nightmare. Put that in the sideboard. Honestly, that Watery Grave just made my deck a slam dunk for me. And him to Turok. I'll put it in the pile, though I don't think I'm going to be able to cast it. Well, this deck feels pretty good. Lutra goes in the sideboard, because by being in the sideboard, it ends up in my hand. I have 29 cards here. We got Monsters, Enablers, Reanimates, Interaction. Yeah, him to Turok is too hard to cast. I think Shallow Grave is by far the worst Reanimate. I don't think I need Night's Whisper. Duelist to the Mind is not a good card. Storm Chaser's Talent didn't really get there. And what's Kitten doing? Kitten is flickering. Oh, Woodfall Primus, that's a good one. Metamorphosis Fanatic's a good one. Storm Chaser's Talent is medium to okay. Could reset the loyalty on Liliana, I guess. I'm honestly a pretty mediocre Displacer Kitten deck, all in here. I was excited about it early, but now I have multiple combos. The situation has changed. I could sideboard Toxic Deluge and bring it in if it's right for the matchup, because I do have a bunch of small creatures, and unless my opponent has more smaller creatures than me, I don't really want Deluge. And I ended up pretty good on Interaction too. Deathrite Shaman could be mid. I do like passive Graveyard Hate, but this is a low impact draw later. In Limited, there's not even necessarily lands in the graveyard to use with this. Right now I'm at 23 mana sources with my 3 Moxen and 14 lands. We're there. Like, I don't have to make a cut, but I could play another land or a card that's different than Deathrite Shaman. I could put Kitten back in over Deathrite. Try to get a little bigger in the late game. Displacer Kitten's not even embarrassing to reanimate. That sets up some cool stuff. I have won games in Cube before by reanimating my Witherbloom Apprentice. Having multiple routes to that is nice. I could cut the Kitten for Night's Whisper and just see more cards in games. That's a lot of stress on my life total with Reanimate, Life Death, Thoughtseize, Toxic Deluge, Night's Whisper, Grizzlebrand. I do have some lifelink though. But I think I want Night's Whisper. I think with as much fast mana as I have, making sure that I can like dump out, reload, dump again is where I want to be. I don't want any forests. Thanks for that, Magic Online. I'm not trying to cast that Primus. Okay, this is too many lands. Let's figure out what they do. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 black sources, 10 blue sources, 9 black, 10 blue. And then Chrome Mox is whatever, and Mox Ruby is a colorless source. I think that works. With the cantrips that I have Thoughtscour and Preordain to move stuff around, and the Night's Whisper as well. This looks like a deck to me. Sweet, I'm going in. Let's do it. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I am on the play in round 1. Look at this Ponder avatar. It just feels right. I revealed Lutri. All right, my hand is missing something, and it's my second land, but it does do quite a bit on one land. I'm going to keep this. And the astute viewer might have noticed that I submitted 41 cards when I cut off the deck build screen, but I noticed before I started playing, and I did cut one island. Oh wow, look at this. I'm going to take their Boomby Zooms, and then I can reanimate it, then they can Burst Lightning it, and then nobody has anything. I could also... No, I'm not going to get clever here. Yeah, I'll take the broadsides. All right. Their hand is the opposite of mine. Screwbeats Flood. We'll see if that pans out here. Hell yeah. All right. Underground Mortuary, please hit Grizzlebrand. Island, we'll take it. Okay, I can reanimate their Broadside Bombardier directly into their Burst Lightning. And that is and it's a 1-for-1. I could duress them. Oh, they didn't play the diamond, so even if they burst me in response, I can at least take the diamond. So they made my duress good here by slowing their roll. I'm going to take Burst Lightning because my plan is to hit them with a creature at some point. Yeah, next turn I can reanimate Broadside and cast Malcolm. And 1-mana spells are so good. They dumped a Plains into the graveyard. Island, we did know about that one. Mox Diamond, did they hit a banger 3? Do I want broadsides, I guess is the question. Sure. Let's put you under some pressure. And here I have Malcolm or Infernal Grasp I can play as an instant. I can throw Malcolm, I could throw Witherbloom Apprentice. Phyrexian Metamorph, alright. You too have a Broadside Bombardier. Okay, they can throw their Mox Diamond to kill my broadside, but that would be a 2-for-1. I'm going to let them do that. And if they don't do it, it's fine. Okay, sweet. Yeah, because the Mox Diamond had to discard a card to get that far. This lets me develop Malcolm. I can Infernal Grasp that whenever. Malcolm, get in. Night's Whisper. This is what it's for. I could dump this Apprentice. I'm a little worried about Night's Whisper. I'm at 11. Fetch, I'm at 10. Infernal Grasp, I'm at 8 versus the deck I'm playing against. Yeah, Witherbloom's going to go, though. Is what it is. Whisper into the night. Kitsa, Otterball Elite. And I am going to pass with Infernal Grasp available. Alright, I am going to kill this thing. They just moved into combat. Fetch my last fetchable. Right, Woodfall Primus is here. Life doesn't work anymore because I'm at 8. I guess I could do it for that much. Okay, Occult Epiphany kind of rips. I'll attack with Malcolm and see what happens. They have Mountain and 1 Unknown in hand right now. Malcolm trigger. If they have like Fairy Mastermind here and start pulling ahead, that would be a bummer. Okay, I'm going to discard Woodfall Primus. And I think I'm actually going to hold this land for Occult Epiphany. That's an extra spirit. It's an extra blank I can loot away without missing it too badly. What do we got? It's a fairy. Fractured Identity. All right, my identity is fractured. Could have been worse than a 2-drop. And I'm about to put a bunch of 1/1 flyers in front of that thing. X is 3. I'll discard Island. Island. That could have been better. Island, Spell Pierce, I guess. The top creature in my graveyard is still Woodfall Primus if I find Shallow Grave. I'm going to buy Lutri and take my beats to play Kitsa. I have been pretty harsh on my own life total here, but I'm just going to park the train for a second and see if we can get something going next turn. And no attacks from the enemy. Swamp, fun. All right, I'll attack with Kitsa. That one has Vig. And then I'll loot Grizzlebrand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not quite there on that one. And I do have enough mana to play and copy Baleful Mastery on the cheap. I don't really want my opponent drawing 2 cards, though. I will hold back this Swamp. That's fine looting material. Now Grizzlebrand is what Shallow Grave would hit. I would actually hit Grizzlebrand and Woodfall Primus because I would copy it with Lutri. Oh my goodness. It's a miracle. Pretty good. They do have blue mana up. This might get countered. It did not get countered. Woodfall Primus does not take them off a color. Yeah, I'll just take Grizzlebrand, please and thank you. And I will now attack with everything. I have a better blocker than Spirit Tokens at this point. I can exile a creature if I need to. Felia, fascinating. Do I care about that? What does that even do? I don't think it does anything. Oh, it flickers out Malcolm and then it comes back as Grizzlebrand. Okay, it does do something. Petty theft. Disappointing. All right, I've been thefted. That's back in my hand. I'm going to let them attack because attacking is not where things get stupid here. All right, I will Baleful Mastery this thing. I just want it. I don't want to be a 4. All right, that's an exile. End step, loot away Grizzlebrand. I drew Norman Osborn. Life and death. All right, I can't reanimate any big stuff. I could turn my lands into 1/1s. That would be attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They block Metamorphosis Fanatic. This is exactly lethal. I can do better though. I am going to leave back my spirits because that Brazen Borrower exists. Path to exile. Strong. Copy target instant or sorcery you control. Disappointed? Alright. They have stabilized. I'll get an island. Do they have the stones to block? They do not. Okay. Yeah, they shouldn't block there. I can just cast the backside. Spells from your graveyard cost 2 less. Non-land card in your graveyard has Mayhem. Alright, I mean, that's pretty good. Oh, I can't cast Flame because I don't have red. Alright, it's just the front. As Garfield intended. Alright, don't burn me out. We could attack and delete spirits. Yep. Alright. Well, I'm gonna block. I can't let that thing just go to town. End step, loot. Stern Scolding versus Life Death. And this Life Death is so tempting. Alright, I'm gonna discard Stern Scolding. And yeah, I mean, this is lethal. I'm going for it. Life. All my lands are 1/1s. Sweet. He used just about every part of the Buffalo in that game. Okay, my opponent is a Jeskai stuff. We saw Fractured Identity and Broadside Bombardiers. I didn't see anything that would convince me I want Toxic Deluge. Though him to Turok, looking a little better if the game's going to go long. But I like all the cards I'm playing, so what are we going to do with that? One thing I could do is cut Witherbloom Chain and just add 2 more like middle of the road things. If my opponent has a ton of good interaction, like we saw Path to Exile and Brazen Borrower, yeah, maybe I should actually convert from things that are easily broken up and high risk into just cards that are good. The game goes long. Recurring Nightmare could be nice. Displacer Kitten, always on my mind, always in my heart. Storm Chaser's Talent, that's a 1/1 that, I mean, this card's really good going along versus control. Okay, I'm turning that side combo into just cards that are solid. 2 for 1s. Hope I can cast this into Turok. Oh, what a hand. Keeping. Let me see them thoughts. Brazen Bar, Fractured Identity, Oust, Overlord of the Mistmoors, Shorakai. These are all good cards. I'm going to take Overlord of the Mistmoors because if I reanimate that one, it's pretty sick. I have to recognize that they have Brazen Borrower in hand, so reanimating one of their things isn't free. They can bounce it back to their own hand. But hopefully Liliana will put them to the test before that. Dump to Goldspan Dragon. Just feeding me mad reanimates. Ooh, Mox Sapphire. What's up, Liliana? Okay, fetch Bayou. Play Mox. Play Liliana. Ka-chow. Start plussing. Cook these hands. I think I'm going to discard Underground Mortuary. Though that value is nice. I don't need this basic island. It'll be fine. Shorakai's gone. Thalia! Oh no. Now they can pressure Lilia. That was a good draw. We're in the spot where they might miss a land drop here. Okay. Chrome Mox pitching Oust, probably. And this now represents Brazen Power. Wow, pitching Fractured Identity. I guess getting good mana to try to survive this early game makes some sense. It is more damage for them to attack Liliana than to flicker her out. Yeah, just flicker nothing. Love to see it. Okay, I'm gonna Night's Whisper first. See where that ends up. Chromox Stern Scolding. Okay, so Liliana can sweep the board here, because I can counter Brazen Borrower if they play it. A Mortuary. I don't need a Swamp. I'm gonna toss Liliana to clear Thalia. She did her job. Sweet. Okay, pass, and I know I can counter the only creature in their hand. Deleted. Wasted. Their hand is Oust. And I don't have any creatures. Now I have a creature. Wow. The old strip mine. That feels good. Okay, I am going to fetch first. And I don't need Watery Grave. I got plenty of black. And I'm going to preordain. Swamp to the bottom. Do I want this Baleful Mastery? Not really. Also bottom. Thought Scour. I am going to go to their turn and then bounce Chrome Mox in the upkeep. Just if they did draw a counterspell, this at least taps them out on their turn. But that was just a giant strip mine. Wow, yeah, they don't even want to play anymore after that play. Sweet. All right, man, I like this deck we've drafted. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 2. Once again, Thoughtseize in my opener. I'm in. Great mana, Moxin, the whole thing. The choice here between turn 1 Malcolm or Thoughtseize them is an interesting one. I think I want to go for Malcolm first. I have a removal spell if they sneak like some guy in here. Some guy confirmed. Overlord of the Baelmerk may or may not be a guy. They hit Kitesail Freebooter. Oh, got Moxjet in their deck. Him to Turok, a Mox. We are operating on similar planes here, opponent. Malcolm coming on in. I'm going to Thoughtseize before combat so I know what I want to do with my loots. Shieldred, Freebooter, Bone Shards. All right, well, I'm obviously taking Shieldred, holy smokes. And attack with Malcolm. Can we draw Reanimate right now? Shallow Grave. That's almost Reanimate. Okay, I'll discard Basic Island here. And I'm gonna Underground Mortuary. Spell Pierce, not helping me here. And I'll pass. Okay, so they have a removal here or a hand check here. They can't really do both. Like, they could look at my hand, and then if they decide Malcolm is scarier than Shallow Grave, they could Bone Shards. I think Malcolm is scarier than Shallow Grave. Oh, but they do have a 1/2 flying. Right. That text is also on that card. Oh, Grizzlebrand, where were you 1 card ago? Okay, I am playing my Misty and buying Lutri. I should attack. All right, I should have attacked before I did all of that. Because they have Toxic Deluge in their hand that can kill my creature without killing theirs. And I unlock my spell here anyway. Yeah, it's just... I think that's just the right attack. All right, blue mana online next turn. 1 unknown in the hand. No More Lies becomes a thing soon. Overlord almost awake, but we both know I have Baleful Mastery. Gonna get the Watery Grave while I can. Duress. I love Duress. And it's at a time where I can Lutri it. Oh my goodness. All right, hold priority, Duress you. In response, Lutri. The turn before the counterspell comes online. Companion. Duress you twice. I would like Infernal Grasp and probably Toxic Deluge. No More Lies is 3, right? Yeah. All right, so how worried am I about this Overlord? I can't just give them a card off Baleful Mastery. If they have to Toxic Deluge, lose 2 life to kill Lutri, I think I can live with that. Yeah, all right. No More Lies is gone. Their hand is Deluge and Bone Shards. That was sweet. We love a companion. Prismatic Vista. They could have discarded Prismatic Vista to Bone Shards the Lutri, but they're valuing mana number 5 here, and they're probably just going to Deluge for 2. Yep, that's gone. All right, Bone Shards in hand. Overlord wakes up in the next end step. But I have that covered. The Brazen Bee. I like that guy. All right, I'm going to pass. I can Shallow Grave Lutri, if that becomes important for me to do. So they need a discard spell or a counterspell here, because we both know I can kill Overlord. Better than kill it, exile it. Ooh, something's happening. Harvester of Misery. Okay. That resolves. End step, Overlord wakes up. If I had one more mana, I could Baleful Mastery, in response Shallow Grave, Lutri. I don't think I want to roll the dice on drawing an untapped land here to do that. I can just play against this 5/4 for a while. Would have got there. All right. I guess I'm just going to bounce this thing, and I'll do it now. Don't want to take 5 from it. I tapped like an idiot. Now I can't play the Brazen Borrower. Could have tapped literally any other mana source. Grief. Disappointing. Well, not really. This might be okay. Like, they have to take a card. So if I Shallow Grave in response, they have to take Grizzlebrand. And then I have a million insane draws. I could also let them take Shallow Grave, and I have a number of looters that pay out Grizzlebrand, but all right. I'll just Shallow Grave now. Lutri is briefly in play. And then Grizzlebrand's in the graveyard. I still know their hand. We're looking for the miracle friend here. All right, Lutri's in exile. Miracle, miracle, miracle. Not a miracle. All right, I am going to hold this one for looting purposes. And every hit from Grief makes Grizzlebrand a little worse. Being 2 mana away from casting Grizzlebrand's kind of sad. Meticulous Archive, so we still have perfect info. Mind Twist, yeah, sweet deck. I'm going to cast Brazen Borrower. I know they can kill it with Harvester, but that would also kill Grief. Or it would get the Harvester out of their hand. Either one I'm comfortable with. Play out this island, and unfortunately I would have cast Grizzlebrand this turn if I hadn't Shallow Graved, but I'm not convinced that that's like right or wrong, just a thing that happened. Deep Cavern Bat, have a peek. Another thing that dies to Harvester if they play it. At 11. A lot of good draws in the deck. Can we hit them? Night's Whisper, I'll take it. All right, Whispering into the night here. This does reduce my life total, but it also draws cards. All right, they know about the swamp. I'll play Liliana. And she's dead no matter what here, so I'm just gonna make them sacrifice a creature. All right, the bat's gone. Do they want to harvest my Brazen Borrower? There it goes. Yep, fine. And we're back to Bone Shards in hand. Whether they go face here with Grief's actually interesting, because at 9 life, putting me to 6 turns off so many of the Reanimate variants in the cube. All right, well, they drew Vindicate, so now they're just going face. Come on, Miracle Guy. No! All right, well, that doesn't change the clock, so I'll play it. Do I have a hit left for this, actually? Hold on. Okay, I actually don't have a hit left for that, so I should not have played it. All right, deck. Big rips. It's actually too late for this guy, though I don't have to get Grizzlebrand. Who else is in there? Yeah, this is 1 turn too late. That sucks. Yeah, Grief has Menace, and we know they have a removal spell in hand. Why have you forsaken me, Miracle Guy? Probably because I couldn't remember his name. Yeah, none of these are useful, unfortunately. I don't have haste. All right, 1 turn late, 1 life point late. Yeah, even if I'm at 4 here instead of 3, I could stabilize this game with the 4/4 lifelink. Dothy Voidwalker. Okay. Good to know. Mana Crypt. Oh my god. Their deck's insane. All right, so there's a Grizzlebrand in the Void. And I'm dead. Oh, tight one. Okay. They have Dothy Voidwalker. They have Mana Crypt, Moxjet, Mind Twist. What do I do with that information? And playing lands out of the graveyard or a super late game Yogg-Will might be good here. It's a little dangerous to target me with random discard, though. Once again, a highly interactive deck. I'm a little worried about the Witherbloom Chain combo. Am I going to board in Walk-in Closet? I can only cast this if both of my Bayous are in play, or I can only do the Yogg-Will side. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. Nightmare is pretty sick, though. I'm going to go Recurring Nightmare over this combo. I do like this combo. I think my deck is good enough that I don't need to have cards that are bad in isolation. All right, I'll keep. I have turn 1 Norman Osborn, and I have a Chrome Mox I would be thrilled to connive away. Mox Rubers. And there's my red. I actually can flip it into Fleam. All right, please don't have a removal spell. Let me do it. Let me have my guy. Netherglyph. Nice. Can't be blocked. Stern Scolding. We know they have multiple Deep Cavern Bat style cards. I connive discarding Chrome Mox, Wooded Foothills, and pass. I have 2 different counter spells here. I could become the Green Goblin, which is, what are the stats on that? That is a 3/3 Flying Menace. And it keeps the +1 counters, because it doesn't leave, it just transforms. Mana Crypt. Well, I can't Spell Pierce that. I would have if they had done it before they played their land. That changes things a bit. Phantasmal Image. Alright, Stern Scolding. That works. It's a 0/0 on the stack. This Wooded Foothills does not get a blue source. Oh, well. Can't counter that anyway. Alright, they're attacking me for 1 now with Nethergoyf. I'm going to get my Surveil land here, even though that leaves me off double blue for Lutri. But that's a later problem. I gotta find some action. Mortuary. Hey! I'll take that Harvester of Misery. Kill your Nethergoyf with it. I could set up a Lutri double reanimate turn next turn, though. Is that greedy? It's a little greedy. But I have Spell Pierce in between. Alright, I'm going for it. Call me a greed monster. Mana Crypt. They took 3. Alright, cool. They've dealt more damage to themselves than I've dealt to them this game. I hope this is just a giant mind twist. Shit, there's that guy. Well, can't Spell Pierce it in this mode. Okay, Kitesail Freebooter, Fallen Shinobi, Harvester of Miseries over there. They did just fill the graveyard with juicy boys for me to double reanimate. They took back Fallen Shinobi. Disappointing. That's the one I wanted. Okay, so I still have to lose life. If this leaves Spell Pierce up while or no, I couldn't even cast Lucci. Wow, I was in the full gamble idiot mode. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I mentioned I didn't have double blue. Oh no, I had Mox Ruby. Never mind. I had it. My brain knew what it was doing, even if my heart didn't, or the other way around. Okay, who am I reanimating? I know they have Fallen Shinobi in their hand. I think Phantasmal Image targeting Overlord the Baelmerk is where I want to start, because if I mill like Grizzlebrand or some shit off the Overlord trigger. Oh wait, that's not how it works. I have to pick 2 targets. Dang it. All right. Yep. That is how that works. All right. Who do I want? Harvester doesn't actually kill anything, but it is big. I could reanimate the Harvester first and then Phantasmal Image to kill Nethergoyf. I kind of want my own Overlord though. Yeah, I think I'm just going to get Harvester and Phantasmal Image here. All right. Reanimate Phantasmal Image. Hold priority. Lutri. Double reanimate. I would like your Harvester of Misery just because it's big enough to rumble with Overlord. That kills Lutri. I'm going to copy Overlord. This will get back Lutri. All right. I didn't do that on purpose, but it was pretty cool. Liliana Lutri. That's actually close. No, I think it's Liliana. All right, I'll take Lily. Okay, passing the turn. Hope they can't target my Overlord and kill it for freezies. I know they have Fallen Shinobi in hand, which is terrifying because they could hit like Grizzlebrand or Woodfall Primus off my deck. Talismans, okay. Fallen Shinobi, 1 unknown over there. Liliana, you monster! All right, you have a Liliana. I will sacrifice my Harvester of Misery because Overlord could get me back in here. Oh no, the Harvester, they get to kill that. I fucked up. Dang it. This is not an avatar, it's a spirit. I threw that game so hard. There was a lot going on these last couple turns. I hope they mess up and take the bat. They did not mess up. Oh, they did let me get to blocks though. Block, 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 block. All right, well, this is going to die anyway, but like now it's a combat trick, but it would have just literally died. Okay. Yikes. Yeah, if I had just sacked the Overlord, gone to blocks, then, well, then they would have had Phantasmal Image back. It's bad regardless. Oh, that's good regardless. I don't think there is any timing here that I could manipulate to get 2 Baleful Masteries off of Luris or Lutri. No, that's just not how it works. I'm definitely doing this though. Okay, 1, 2. Gobin with lifelink or Lutri with lifelink. Lutri is just bigger. I think that's the only thing I'm worried about here. And I have Baleful Mastery. Don't really want to feed them cards, but might have to. Yeah, they're getting fed cards anyway. All right. Exile Overlord while they're tapped out. while Spell Pierce has a chance to do anything. Okay. Are we back? A disaster of a sequence last game, or last turn, but we're back. Fallen Shinobi, 2 unknowns over there. Tap to exile. Yep, unfortunately. I'll get a black. I have to block here so my Shinobi doesn't fall. But then they can just cast it. Yeah, there it is. Come on, removal spell. I have to discard my Spell Pierce to Liliana. They were already empty. Removal spell or a blocker. Oh no. Oh, we're in trouble. I'm gonna make them sack the Nethergoyf, which they can just replay whenever. And I'm gonna hope Fallen Shinobi doesn't get me too hard. Can't even bluff anything because of Liliana. They've won 3 crypt flips in a row now. It's just a 0 mana Soul Ring for them. Alright, go into the face. Show me my Grizzlebrand. Just take it from me. They got Kitsa and Duress. Alright, I mean, Kitsa is good. Duress, Irel. They're still duressing me. Building Storm. Oh no, you have a spell? Don't have spells. Oh no, it could be Nethergoyf. Yeah, we knew they had a spell. It was guaranteed. Yeah, Toxic Deluge, I did not board in here. Still thinking behind, even if I deluge them. Yeah, that combat, the sequence of give you back your Harvester of Misery, which also kills my Overlord because it happens to be your Phantasmal Image. Playing with fire and did not solve the puzzle correctly, and I think I was going to be behind at the end of that anyway, but it's still... That could have been better. Oh, you've got to reanimate. Getting back Harvester. Do I have any direct damage in my deck? Can I deal 5 somehow and then put it down to a crypt flip? I don't think so. I don't think that's a mode I have. Yep, Nethergoyf's back. Terminus? Shallow Grave. That brings Lutri back, which does not help. 5, 6, yeah, they have me covered in every direction. GG's. Yeah, we had very similar decks. Their White Splash a little better than my Green Splash here because they have good removal, where I have basically a combo that I boarded out. And then my double Mox versus their Mox Mana Crypt came up a little short. Sweet match, though. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the play in the final round with a hand that is pretty clunky. I'm gonna mulligan this. It just has stuff that I want in my deck and in my graveyard, but it's in my hand instead. I haven't really had good use for this Chrome Mox yet this league. And I'm going to bottom it here as well. My plan is Thoughtseize into Kitsa, Kitsa loot into Death. I like that life has 1 more games than Death in this. A true triumph of the good versus bad. The opponent mulled to 6. That's a good place to point a Thoughtseize. Bloodchief Thirst, Brainstorm, Mana Drain, Troll. They're pretty far off from this Mana Drain. I'm going to take Bloodchief Thirst because that blows out my Kitsa. That was supposed to be my play in this game. Spike the blue source immediately. Uh-oh. All right, Kitsa, get in. All right, do they have an Underground Sea to find with Troll? Are they just going to Brainstorm, then Troll in the upkeep? Oh, none of the above. All right, just holding on to their cards. Bayou is now deployed. Woodfall Primetime. That is pretty sick. This is a Woodfall Primus with Spell Pierce protection. Attack. Play Bayou. Activate Kitsa. Discard Primus. Cast Death on Primus. Destroy their blue source. Beastorm in response. You gotta do what you gotta do. We're in there. Blow up the Darkslick Shores. Cool. That's a pretty big creature on turn 3. Cycling the Troll, this shuffles the Brainstorm. I suspect this Underground Mortuary is not in their hand anymore right now. We might even see them tutor it with the Troll, though they're under a lot of pressure to make that their play. Undercity Sewer, all right. Kinda. Mox Ruby. A powerful draft this league for both me and all my opponents. Right, the Surveil is here. That Mana Drain's still miles away. Not that I'm worried about Mana Drain anymore. I'm just going to hit them for 7 a bunch of times. Oh, you got a little taste of that too. No thanks. All right, another Pseudo Mirror. The Bug Reanimator with Mox Ruby. How interesting. Attack with my creatures. Second main loot. I don't need this island. I'm not going to just hold up Baleful Mastery like a psycho when I can develop normally. Here we go. All right, there you go. Your turn. The death, like Spell Piercing the Death was actually kind of close because they take 6, and then if they trade that with Woodfall Primus, they take 1 trample, I persist, I kill a blue source again. Like it was reasonable, but ooh, all right. Suddenly Dark Ritualing something out. Did I blow it by using my Spell Pierce? Overlord of the Belmerk, sure. Everyone's got that but me. There's a Battle Sphere in there. Exhume, that's dangerous to have against me. They brought back Troll of Khazad-dûm, sure. And Baleful Mastery. I'm going to exile this, get the prowess damage. And I don't need to loot here, so I won't. Okay, so I executed on the same game plan slightly faster than they did. Good stuff. I'm going to leave in Witherbloom Chain this time, on principle. I'm playing all my interaction already. I don't really want him to track them. Oh, Deathrite Gem is actually really good here. Is Deathrite better than something I'm playing? Maybe it's this Chrome Mox. Chrome Mox has just been kind of mid. Like when I'm frequently excited to get a Chrome Mox, but when my deck has 2 real Mox in, the numbers are different. It's just like, oh, I don't even like this. Okay, I was counting Chrome Mox as a land though, or as a mana source. So do I just go in on 16? And am I okay with that? Deathrite Shaman is like probably slightly below Chrome Mox in terms of counting as a mana source in my deck. Yeah, whatever. 16, we ball. All right, 16 lands, no problems. I'm in for this highly interactive, fun little hand. I even have a cheese potential. Thought Scour me, Shallow Grave. I'm going to keep and hope I'm not too far behind when I get to play my land drop. Gitaxian Probe, hell yeah. Well, now they know what's going on. They know I have 3 different ways to use my mana on turn 1. Mortuary. They've certainly looked at a lot of cards for no mana this turn. And they like what they saw. Kitsa. Got something to do with mana now. Okay, they're on the Mono Golgari here. We know they have at least Mana Drain in their deck as a double blue spell. Pillage the Bog. All right, you can go ahead and pillage your Bog. This is just impulse. Look at top 4, put 1 into your hand. Not going to spend a precious Spell Pierce on that. This has also tapped them out, which means if Thought Scour randomly spikes the Primus or Grizzlebrand here, we're in. End step, Scour me. Just hit Island Preordain, sure. And they already know about Watery Grave, so I'm going to take the damage to put that in. And my boy Deathrite Shaman is here, but they don't see green mana, so they don't know I can exile creatures. Not yet. Hopefully that is very good against their deck. Also, just a 1-mana Planeswalker in play if we're going draw go is great. Shit. Well, they found the secret. Play around Spell Pierce. All right. Oh, man. Well, that's still pretty good for me. Kitsa with Spell Pierce to back it up. Next turn, Grizzlebrand with Spell Pierce to back it up. How many cheap removal spells do they have to get under this Spell Pierce is now the subgame. Beastorm, I'm not piercing that. And if they do navigate the Kitsa, I have Liliana, who can dump Grizzlebrand and then Shallow Grave. I have a bunch of routes here, just redundant thing after thing after thing. One battle after another, as they say, if you're Paul Thomas Anderson. Generous Ent. Okay, multiple Lord of the Rings scam reanimate guys. Sweet deck. Cankerbloom. All right, cool. I don't care about that. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or proliferate are the things this does. Currency converter. I don't care about that either. Not when I'm about to play Grizzlebrand with counter backup. All right, draw for turn. Activate Kitsa. Discard Grizzlebrand. Play Swamp. Play Shallow Grave. They could like stuff out Kitsa in response, but that I would Spell Pierce. All right, I'm going to draw 7. Oh, wow. The double Moxen showing up on the draw 7. You love to see it. Unfortunately, Kitsa had to tap to start the turn. All right, they don't want to play anymore. Okay, sweet. A 2-1 record with mostly blue-black, but a green splash for Witherbloom Apprentice that basically never came up. This was a good draft. Cool cards. We opened and got past some power. The mana fixing was nice. Deck does multiple things. I have the 2-drop plus counterspell tempo plan, and then I also have Reanimator, and then I also have Witherbloom. And Lutri, of course, always excited to have that one around. This draft, normally I don't care, but this draft did bum me out a little bit that we were not doing pod play. Because on Magic Online, in the leagues, you draft with 8 people, and then you're sent out into the world, and they just pair you with whoever's ready. Versus 8-player pods, where like you can't play against Reanimate if you have Reanimate in your deck because there's only one in the cube. I mostly don't care, but playing Reanimate mirrors in 2 of the 3 rounds just kind of, whack that it turned out that way. But still a great draft. Cubing is fun. I have an awesome Ponder avatar now on my Magic Online account forever. This was fun. And as always, this might be the last cube I ever do. So enjoy it while you got it. Everyone, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.